Kia ora, good evening. Engineering and electrical outfit EIS bagged 3 awards at Southland's first Business Excellence Awards. The Invercargill-based company scooped top prize to be named the Supreme Business of the Year at Friday's awards ceremony at the Ascot Park Hotel. It also won Business of the Year with more than 15 full-time staff and the Workplace Safety Award. Bevan Pearce Chartered Accountants also had a good night at the ceremony, with wins for Business of the Year with less than 15 full-time staff and the New and Emerging Business Award. Gore Health secured 2 awards through the not-for-profit category, and with Chief Executive Carl Metzler named Business Personality of the Year. McPherson Realty got the retail prize, and Southland Disability Services was rewarded for sustainability. 3-time winner EIS describes what makes the company attractive to staff and clients and the benefits of operating in Southland.
EIS has got a good reputation throughout New Zealand and overseas, and it's great to get that feedback that we do provide quality service to our clients, and I think that's one of the reasons that people really enjoy working here. We've got a really good team, high retention of staff, and we're very family orientated. So for me, these are significant achievements. The benefits of doing business in Southland and being in Southland is, for me, I was surprised initially when I came to the province just how well equipped we are to work in the heavy industrial arena. There's lots of experience here, lots of professionalism in Southland, and many clients that have come here from other areas and even overseas have remarked to EIS just how easy it is to do business here, and I think that's reflected on the culture that we have in Southland.
MP for Invercargill Eric Roy is dismissive of Invercargill-based former Lister MP Leslie Soper's assertions that the John Banks affair is the death nail for the current government. Ms Soper's assertions, made last Thursday on South Today News, are being dismissed offhand by the incumbent MP. Mr Royce says that at this stage he has every intention of running for the National Party nomination for the Invercargill seat next general election.
John Banks has got nothing to do with National. I mean, we will need coalition partners, but it's not National's job to arrange those. We'll work with whoever comes through and who the electorate decide will be in Parliament. Well, look, Labor have sort of gone through a bit of a trial time with one leader, and they've got another one, they've got a bit of momentum. There's only been 1 or 2 polls, and polls are up and down all the time. I think the interesting thing is that very, very few governments, 5 years into a regime like National is, are polling in the high 40s, mid to high 40s, and we're still doing that. So we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. The economy's actually starting to come right, and we've seen growth in the provinces, so Invercargill up 2,500 people in the Southland area. Those are signs that actually things are starting to go. And I think that the public would have had a pretty low tolerance if we'd gone into the next, or go into the next election saying, trust us, we know what we're doing, without getting some runs on the board. And I'm pretty confident that as we get nearer that point of next year, things will be a whole lot better economically.
And for you yourself, are you saying that you will be standing possibly?
Well, that's my intention at this stage. Look, I make the decision on a 3-year basis. I still enjoy what I'm doing. It's a fantastic place to represent. But that decision will be made. That's up to the committee? Well, no, it's up to me. And the committee might say, well, hang on, we've got someone else we want to run. We'll have that discussion next year. But right now, my focus is doing what I've got to do as the elected representative right now.
Prevention of reoffending through successful reintegration into the community was a key objective identified at a workshop in the city at the weekend. The Invercargill Prison Fellowship organised workshop discussed the many issues prisoners had to confront when completing a custodial sentence. One of the key issues was the need for accommodation options for former inmates in their first few days following their release back into society. Invercargill Prison Fellowship Chair Bill Cunliffe says there's a lack of accommodation in Invercargill, especially following the closure of the Salvation Army Men's Accommodation Unit on Leven Street. Mr Cunliffe believes short-term housing is important to prevent former inmates falling back into old habits and the resultant reoffending. Athletics Invercargill's new clubhouse hit the road this afternoon aboard a truck. The 8 by 23 metre long building was shifted across town to Surrey Park, where it will sit next to the running track. The clubhouse was built by SIT students and has been largely funded by the Southland Stadium Trust as part of an agreement for knocking the old athletics facility down to make way for the Trust's sports stadium. King House Removals was tasked with the job of getting the building through Invercargill, which took around 15 minutes. The piles for the clubhouse will start going down on Wednesday and the final section will be built on site. Athletics Club President Tony Kennedy says the building will hopefully be open in time for the Southland Marathon, which takes place on the 17th of November. After the break, a call for more volunteers by Riding for the Disabled and Imperial Rome comes to the Southland Museum and Art Gallery. Welcome back. A local not-for-profit organisation is calling on Southlanders to lend a hand to a good cause. The Southland branch of Riding for the Disabled held a workshop for new volunteers today to work on necessary horse handling skills and safety. Southland Riding for the Disabled President Dot Muir says although the organisation currently has a permanent core of 10 volunteers, more were needed.
Today we are running a special basic training session with our volunteers and just showing them how we can catch a horse and how we build up a rapport with a horse, how we groom, and be side walker or a leader.
Is there a need for volunteers at the moment?
It's just an ongoing thing to get more volunteers and make awareness out there that we're always in need of more coming in and more training to be done. So yes, there is a great need for more volunteers so we're able to actually deliver our program in safety.
And why are volunteers so necessary to Riding for the Disabled?
Well, if we didn't have volunteers, we have the horses, but we need someone to lead the horses. We need someone to be a side person. We need someone that's walking alongside the child or the adult to encourage them to actually do their riding. That each child has, and each person has particular goals. So the instructor passes those goals onto the volunteers, that are the side walkers, and sort of saying, we are working on this particular thing today, we're working on this person's balance, this is the things that you need to be doing.
And how does Riding for the Disabled help those with disabilities?
Well, I just think it's the best therapy you can possibly offer. Everybody that comes here, they actually learn to respect horses, the horse respects them, they can talk to the horse and they know that message, if it's a private message, it's not going to be passed on to anybody else. So that it's just that equine therapy thing that they're actually gaining so much themselves and confidence themselves, so they are able to just really enjoy and actually having fun.
Tell me why you volunteer.
Yeah, well, it started from because I've got 2 children who are autistic and they started riding from when they were 3. And then they moved to Tuesday morning and I've carried on from then. I saw how much they benefit from it and I wanted to help other children as well. And I just really enjoy coming out and working with them and seeing them progress and them enjoying it. I enjoy it myself and I enjoy working with the horses as well.
The Southland Museum and Art Gallery is offering Southlanders the chance to take a peek into the technological genius of the Roman Empire with a new exhibit. Julius Caesar, Military Genius and Mighty Machines opened to the public on Saturday and features around 20 interactive models of Roman technology as well as other displays. It was created by the artisans of Florence, the same brains behind the well-known Da Vinci Machines exhibition. Museum manager Paul Horner says the museum had secured the exhibition after 2 years of talks with the creators and had a rental cost of $85,000. He says ticket sales were already off to a good start, with at least 90 sold on the first day and several school groups already booked in. He says the exhibition will be on display until early January. Ecology was the buzzword at this year's Transition Town Invercargill Eco Show. The show aims to introduce people to the advantages in being eco-friendly and how beneficial minimising the footprint left by the community on the environment can be. This year's show featured a number of interesting presentations and displays, including composting toilets, nutrition and food, plus gardening to live off a quarter-acre block.
We certainly learn a lot each year from what we've done and improve year by year.
What sparked, what made you organise this event, firstly?
Well, it's been organised by Transition Towns Invercargill. So Transition Town is also all about building resilient communities, and so that was sort of the catalyst for the first event. We wanted to showcase to the public what is available that's eco-friendly, sustainable, but also all the groups and organisations throughout the region really that have sort of sustainable or environmental messages and actions.
Do you think that message is getting through to people that it is good to go green, if you like?
I think it is. And what we've noticed this year with the people coming in is that it's not just our traditional sort of eco-friendly people that we're seeing here. We've got a wider range of people who are interested in learning.
And has there been I know there's a lot of interest being shown everywhere, but are there a few items or perhaps talks that are of particular interest?
Certainly, we've got some really interesting talks this year. So one that's just going on at the moment about DIY composting toilets. So a good crowd there, but prior to that we had one about worm farming, and even something like that was really popular, and people had a lot of questions and really wanting to know how they can do it and what they need to do.
There's a lot of kids here, isn't there? They are the next generation, obviously, but they've got the message, haven't they? And they're teaching their parents.
I think that's certainly the case, yeah. And we've got lots of activities here for kids as well, so makes it really family friendly.
There's a real buzz, you can hear the noise in the background. Lots and lots of people coming and talking, asking questions, telling us what their concerns are, getting answers, and just the networking that goes on among all the environmental groups. That's one of the pluses of a day like this.
You mentioned the buzz, the bees seem very popular.
Yes, they are. Yes, I stumbled across Stan this week. Someone told me that he's got bees. I rang him up and he's come along. He's very obliging. The children are really fascinated with the bees. Yeah, it's great.
Which is really relevant now, isn't it, with Varroa and that sort of thing, and the possibility of hand pollination.
Yep. And people are maybe taking out trees and shrubs that used to be great bee food, and they don't realise how significant it is. We have to have vegetables and shrubs and trees that actually attract the bees, because we're totally dependent on them for pollination. Yeah.
And how's the Environment Centre going?
Oh well, we're in our 12th year, and we're now out at Glengarry Crescent. So people who didn't know where we've gone to from the SIT arcade, come and visit us. We're always open to volunteers, people who want to come and help out. And we've just heard today that our bike doctor, who's been at St John's Hall, he's having to move out of there. So if anyone's got a shed that we could put our bikes in, recycling bikes and mending people's bikes for a small donation, we'd love to hear from you, thank you. It's a really good advertising plug.
That's all from the news team. Sports up next with all the latest from the ITM Cup. Good night.